Hello, welcome to the weekly highlights program in Azərbaycan Televiziya. I'm Qocaman, and at first, let's take a brief look at some of the top stories of this week. President İlham Əliyev attended the inauguration of the military trophy park in Baku. This week, the renovation and restoration work was launched in Pirşağı settlement, Baku. President of the Republic of Azərbaycan İlham Əliyev and First Lady Mehriban Əliyeva attended the event. On April 12th, President of the Republic of Azərbaycan İlham Əliyev attended the inauguration of the military trophy park in Baku.
President, Supreme Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces İlham Əliyev signed an executive order on the establishment of the memorial complex of the Patriotic War and Victory Museum and put forward an initiative for setting up a military trophy park in order to demonstrate the unprecedented heroism and victory achieved by our people in the Patriotic War and to perpetuate the dear memory of our martyrs. The park, the establishment of which kicked off in January of this year, covering 5 hectares area, is located in Hatay district. Among the exhibits shown in the park is the special composition made of the license plates of more than 2,000 vehicles taken as trophies from the Armenians in the territories liberated from the occupation with the slogan "Qarabağ is Azerbaijan." Facts about the war crimes committed by Armenia, including shelling of our residential areas located far from the battle zone, killing and wounding of peaceful civilians, and the remnants of Iskander-M missile, which was launched to the territory of Azerbaijan. Here, part of military equipment taken as trophy from the enemy during the progress of the Great Patriotic War. Overall, more than 300 exhibits, including 150 units of heavy machinery, tanks, battle vehicles, artillery mounts, air defense systems, launching ammunitions, and military vehicles. Defense systems made more than 10 barriers, shelters, and military barracks. Information about the progress of the Patriotic War provides ample opportunities once more time to visualize the battles which brought victory to Azerbaijan. Following the acquaintance with the military trophy park, President Supreme Commander-in-Chief İlham Əliyev met with the military personnel awarded in the Patriotic War.
On April 30th, President İlham Əliyev participated in the new Vision for South Caucasus Post-Conflict Development and Cooperation International Conference held in Adi University. At the conference, with the participation of representatives of the world's leading think tanks, the head of state made a speech and answered the questions. Rector of the University, Ambassador Hafiz Pashayev, on behalf of all participants, thanked President İlham Əliyev for participating in the event and for the desire to share his views on the future of the region. Stressing the significance of conference, President İlham Əliyev answered the questions of representatives of the world's leading think tanks. The head of state dwelled on the occupation policy of Armenia, stressed that Azerbaijan put an end to this policy on its own, and underscored that the genocide committed by Armenia and the leadership of the so-called Nagorno-Karabakh regime will never be forgotten. President İlham Əliyev said that during the ongoing negotiations, Armenia repeatedly violated it. Azerbaijan during the war never targeted peaceful Armenians, but the Armenians shelled our peaceful cities. The head of state also dwelled on the ongoing and envisaged work on reconstruction in the territories liberated from the occupation, plans for the first development of Azerbaijan, the opportunities for regional cooperation that opened up after the resolution of the conflict. President İlham Əliyev said that the Russian side hasn't yet answered how did Iskander-M missile fall into the hands of Armenia launched in Azerbaijan. However, Azerbaijan fully complies with the provisions of the trilateral statement. We want to return the IDPs to the lands of their ancestors as soon as possible, and the mines are a major problem in this matter, President İlham Əliyev said, noting that Armenia refused to release the maps of minefields planted in the territories of Azerbaijan. The head of state expressed support for the proposal to hold the International Qarabağ Forum. At the end, a commemorative photo was taken. On April 13th, an informal meeting was held between President of Azerbaijan İlham Əliyev and President of Belarus Alexander Lukashenko. President İlham Əliyev and President of the Republic of Belarus Alexander Lukashenko, who was working with the two Azerbaijan, have held a one-on-one meeting. Then the meeting continued in an expanded format.
President of Azerbaijan, İlham Əliyev, welcomed President of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko. The presidents posed together for photographs. The heads of state made speeches at the meeting. President İlham Əliyev said, "Dear Alexander Grigorievich, I'm glad to see you again. Yesterday we had the opportunity to communicate in an informal format and discuss a wide range of issues on the bilateral agenda, as well as the regional issues. Today we will continue our dialogue. I'm very glad that the relations between our countries are developing. Together we have brought dynamism to our relations and see progress in all directions. We see that the issues we have agreed on are being implemented. Our reciprocal visits are of regular nature. I have refreshed my visits to Belarus and your visits to Azerbaijan. All this shows that there is a close political relationship, a high level of trust between our countries, and we are focused on the result. That's why we are seeing good results in the framework of economic cooperation. Despite the pandemic last year, our turnover has increased, and so have exports from Azerbaijan to Belarus. Therefore, today we will discuss in more detail the issues related to industrial cooperation. According to our joint decision, the industrial enterprise in Ganja has been operating for a long time. I would also like to discuss with you the issues related to the restoration of Karabakh. We know the experience of Belarusian companies in creating agro-industrial complexes in your country. Therefore, this issue, of course, has a special place in terms of the restoration of liberated territories. It's gratifying that we will continue to support each other in the international organizations in which we participate. In other words, our relations are far from any problems. Our regular contacts allow us the opportunity to simply summarize the work done, outline further steps, and move forward as two friends and two partners. Welcome again. I'm glad to see you in Baku again. President Alexander Lukashenko said, "Thank you, İlham Heydaroğlu. Against the background of all these pandemics and other events, our meeting may seem a bit like a burden. However, true friends do not delay actions that need to be taken on time. This is what we're doing, and no pandemic can stop that. You have rightly said that our relations in political and economic areas are very diverse in terms of specific directions. They're very appropriate, and nothing can harm them. We do not hinder anyone, and no one can hinder us. Because if you want to do something, it's difficult to stop it." Indeed, Azerbaijan has taken a huge step towards achieving its national dream. But this is the only first step. We talked about it a lot yesterday. I'm very glad that you, as a true friend of the Belarusian people, know that there is still much work to be done. Very hard work must be done to restore life in the liberated territories, and very much peaceful work must be done. You should know that you have reliable friends in Belarus. You know our possibilities. Today we will discuss them again with ministers and experts. If we come to an agreement, as we have always done, we will always implement the agreements as evidenced by the fact that the turnover has reached $500 million now. In general, there were no such situations before you became president. Therefore, this is a good result in terms of dynamics. As for our political relations, it's difficult to say that we're missing something or that there is a certain negative factor. We do not have such factors. Our relationship is excellent, and I'm always proud of that. We have restored the most cordial relations in all directions since the Soviet era. I'm especially grateful to you for your support in the supply of hydrocarbons to Belarus, especially in difficult times. This morning, I thought that perhaps we should consider deepening our relations in this sensitive area because Belarus is at the center of economic and political events. However, there are no unresolved issues. Thank you, as I just said, for finding time to discuss these issues at a very busy time for Azerbaijan. The meeting then continued in an expanded format with the participation of delegations.
Ceremony of signing Azerbaijan-Belarus documents was held in the presence of President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, İlham Əliyev, and President of the Republic of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko.
The Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation between the Food Safety Agency of the Republic of Azerbaijan and the Ministry of Agriculture and Food of the Republic of Belarus in the field of veterinary medicine was signed by Azerbaijan's Minister of Agriculture İlham Kerimov and Belarus Minister of Agriculture and Food Ivan Krupko. The Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation between the State Tourism Agency of the Republic of Azerbaijan and the National Tourism Agency of the Republic of Belarus in the field of tourism, and the Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation between the Ministry of Energy of the Republic of Azerbaijan and the Ministry of Energy of the Republic of Belarus in the field of energy were signed by Azerbaijan's Minister of Foreign Affairs Ceyhun Bayramov and Belarus Minister of Foreign Affairs Vladimir Makey.
Following a ceremony of signing documents, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan İlham Əliyev and President of the Republic of Belarus Alexander Lukashenko made press statements.
Greeting once more time Alexander Lukashenko, President İlham Əliyev added that the further development of friendly relations had great significance, saying that he informed President of Belarus about the post-war situation following the resolution of Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. The RFC noted that consultations were ongoing both on the level of heads of state as well as at the level of the Ministers of Foreign Affairs, noting that the two countries actively cooperate and support each other in international organizations. President İlham Əliyev emphasized that specific directions of future cooperation for the diversification and raising of the trade turnover were determined, underlining that they discuss issues in relation to potential involvement of Belarus companies in several directions in the restoration of liberated territories, in particular in urban planning, infrastructure establishment and development of agriculture. The head of state added that Karabakh had been declared the green zone and the first smart village project was practically ready for implementation. President İlham Əliyev said that already companies from 3 friendly countries were involved in the work in the liberated territories and added that Belarus was also a friendly country for Azerbaijan. You are leading your country in the way of progress and you provide stability, and we as your friends are always by your side, said President İlham Əliyev. President of the Republic of Belarus Alexander Lukashenko thanked President İlham Əliyev for kind words addressed to him and the people of Belarus. In the course of the dialogue, the strategic nature of relations between Belarus and Azerbaijan was reaffirmed. Alexander Lukashenko said there was clarity about the future joint action in the world economy in the context of the crisis, pandemic, and ambiguous forecasts for the future. There have been significant improvements in the relations between the two countries recently. I appreciate the open and sincere atmosphere of our meetings with my friend. This is my 5th visit, said President of Belarus, and stressed that President İlham Əliyev paid 5 official visits to Belarus to resolve these or other issues. Alexander Lukashenko said the agreements on the complete cessation of hostilities in the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict zone are heartily welcomed and that this important political decision had to be the foundation of lasting peace in the region. The Azerbaijani leadership should also know that Belarusians are reliable friends and reliable people. During the meeting, trade and economic cooperation, the transition to a higher level of cooperation, establishment of joint ventures and the transfer of technology and the creation of industries in Azerbaijan were discussed. President of Belarus expressed readiness to establish joint ventures in Baku, especially in the liberated and restored territories. The mass vaccination of the Belarusian population will be started soon. The vaccines are Belarus-made, based on Sputnik V technology of the Russian Federation, and we are ready to share this vaccine with Azerbaijan, said Alexander Lukashenko. The great potential for the development of cooperation in industry, agriculture, wood processing, information technology, health, tourism, as well as prospects for deepening bilateral cooperation in science and technology was emphasized. President of the Republic of Belarus Alexander Lukashenko thanked President İlham Əliyev for the reception despite the pandemic and invited the head of state to visit Belarus.
On April 16th, the renovation and restoration work was launched in Pirshava settlement. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan İlham Əliyev and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva attended the event. In accordance with the instruction of President İlham Əliyev, special improvement works have begun in Baku and Absheron villages since 2019. Using the example of the village of Balakhani, we have witnessed a successful experience. This process continues in the villages of Bibiheybet, Novkhani, Emirjan, Ramana. Indeed, the old Pirshava will also be transformed. The main goal of the work is to improve the living conditions of the local population, their comfortable living. Pirshava has historically been considered a favorable area for climate therapy. The ultimate goal is to improve the environmental situation.
Mənzərə açılacaq. Məscid yanı bir park.
Improvement works are provided both in active buildings and in open spaces. In the central part opposite the mosque, a park is expected to be lit in accordance with the traditions of Oriental gardening. In the center of the Charbagh traditional park, there will be a swimming pool from where a 4-way road branches off. Improvement works also positively affect the employment. The vast majority of those involved in the process are local residents. The food production in Pirshava to become one of the most attractive tourist destinations in the post-pandemic period is not excluded.
Yaxşı şanı üzümü vardı həmişə. Ağ şanı, qara şanı.
40-50 mindən əkmişik. Bəli, davam edirik.
Həmən o sortdan.
4 sort əkirik hal-hazırda. Orada ağdayı sortunda var, qara şanı, ağ şanı.
Bal kimi.
The restoration and discovery of historical monuments is one of the main goals of landscaping. In this sense, one of the monuments to be restored and preserved is the bathhouse Hacı Şahverdi Hamamı. It's also known as Gum Hamamı to the local residents. The foundation work for reconstruction and repair was laid in Pirşağı. It's expected that the renovation process will cover Merdekan, Buzovna, Meştağa within the year. These projects being implemented in the Abşeron villages are of particular importance, both from a historical point of view and existing realities. First of all, the styles of the local architectural school, its unique color shades, are revived and passed on to the future generations. If we look at the post-war realities and the existing pandemic, it's clear that our economic power has grown significantly, and even despite global challenges, not a single social project has been reduced.
That was all for the week. Thank you for watching us and see you next Sunday.